Chosen one, 7 hidden signs you were marked by God since childhood. From the very first breath you took, heaven saw what the world could not see. There has always been something different about you, something quiet yet powerful, something that refused to be crushed even when life tried to press you down. This is not an accident or imagination. This is the gentle truth of God's hand resting on you since childhood, guiding you, shaping you, and protecting you in ways you are only now beginning to understand. Type 2020 if you believe. The first hidden sign is that you felt different even as a child. While others were content with noise and distraction, your heart carried a depth that was unusual for your age. You sensed emotions deeply. You noticed pain in others. You sometimes felt alone, not because you were rejected, but because your spirit was already set apart. God was forming compassion inside you long before you knew His name in a personal way. That quiet difference was not isolation, it was preparation. The second sign is that you faced challenges early in life. You may have experienced misunderstandings, rejection, or responsibilities that felt too heavy for your small shoulders. Those moments were not punishments, they were training grounds. God was building strength in you that would later carry others. If this touches your heart and you feel encouraged, gently, like this video, as a small act of faith, and allow this truth to reach someone else who needs it today. Another sign is your deep hunger for meaning. As a child, you asked questions in your heart about why you were here. You searched for purpose, even when others were focused only on fun. That inner searching was not random curiosity. It was the whisper of God calling you closer, drawing you into a relationship that would one day become your greatest comfort. The fourth hidden sign is protection you did not fully understand at the time. There were situations you could have been trapped in. There were paths that could have harmed you, yet somehow doors closed, people left, plans changed. At times it felt disappointing. Now you can see that unseen hands were guiding your steps. God was shielding you because your life carried a calling. The fifth sign is your sensitivity to right and wrong. Even when no one was watching, your conscience spoke clearly. You felt uncomfortable in environments that did not align with truth. That awareness was not weakness. It was spiritual awareness being formed inside you. God was teaching your heart to recognize His voice through that quiet conviction. The sixth sign is your ability to endure. You have walked through seasons that could have made you bitter, yet something inside you kept choosing hope. Even when tears fell at night, a small light remained. That light was not your own strength alone. It was the steady presence of Jesus holding you together when you did not even realize He was near. Type 1111 if you trust in God. The seventh hidden sign is your longing to help others heal. You feel joy when someone finds peace. You feel fulfilled when you can encourage someone who feels lost. This desire did not grow from nowhere. It was planted. God marked you with compassion because He intends to use your story as a bridge for others. You were marked, not with visible ink, but with purpose written in the Spirit. Since childhood, God has watched over your steps. Every tear was counted, every silent prayer was heard, every moment of confusion was shaping clarity that would come later. You may not have understood why your path felt different. You may have wondered why you could not fit into certain patterns. Now you can begin to see that you were never meant to blend in. You were meant to shine quietly, steadily, faithfully. Being chosen does not mean a life without struggle. It means a life with divine direction. It means that even your pain has meaning. It means your story carries weight in heaven. Jesus has walked with you through every hidden hallway of your life. He has seen the child you were, the tears you wiped away quickly, the dreams you protected silently. There is comfort in knowing that nothing about your journey was wasted. The lonely moments built intimacy with God, the misunderstandings built resilience, the quiet seasons built faith that did not depend on applause. As you reflect on your childhood, begin to see it through a new lens. Instead of focusing on what hurt, notice what preserved you. Instead of remembering only the confusion, see the quiet guidance that kept you from falling too far. God's love has been steady. It has not shifted with your mistakes or fears. You were marked by grace before you could even spell the word. You were chosen for a purpose that unfolds step by step. And now, as you stand in the present, you can walk forward with confidence. The same God who guarded your childhood is leading your future. One hidden sign you may not have recognized is how often you were drawn to solitude. As a child, there were moments when you preferred to be alone with your thoughts. You would sit quietly, imagining, reflecting, or simply feeling the world around you. That quiet space was not emptiness. It was sacred ground where God was teaching you to listen. In silence, your spirit was learning to recognize peace. Another sign is the way you were unusually aware of spiritual things. Even if no one explained faith to you in detail, you sensed that there was something greater beyond what your eyes could see. You may have looked at the sky and felt small, yet deeply connected. You may have felt comfort in prayer before you even fully understood it. That awareness was not coincidence. It was the gentle imprint of God's presence on your young heart. A rare 7-second morning routine previously hidden in classified files is resurfacing, and people are already sharing stories of rapid financial progress. It requires almost no time, yet it activates a dormant wealth switch in the brain that most never access. Click the link in the description and comments now to access it before it disappears. There were also times when you felt misunderstood. People may have labeled you as too sensitive, too quiet, or too intense, yet what they saw as unusual was actually spiritual depth. You carried emotions deeply because you were created to care deeply. God was forming empathy inside you so that one day you could stand beside others in their hardest moments without turning away. Type 777 if you trust Jesus. As you grew older, you may have noticed that certain friendships faded naturally. Some connections could not continue because your path was different. At times, this felt painful. It may have felt like rejection, yet, in truth, it was redirection. God was carefully separating you from influences that would distract you from your calling. He was preserving your focus even when you did not understand the reason. Another hidden sign is the way you recover after disappointment. You may fall, you may feel hurt, but something inside you refuses to remain broken. There is a resilience that surprises even you. This strength is not pride, it is grace. Jesus has been quietly restoring your heart again and again, teaching you that failure does not define your future. You also carry a strong sense of justice. Since childhood, unfairness has stirred something inside you. You have felt the need to defend those who are mistreated. You have felt discomfort when lies replaced truth. That stirring is part of your marking. God placed within you a love for righteousness. He shaped you to value integrity even when it costs you comfort. There were moments when you felt like giving up. Perhaps as a child you cried alone, wondering why life felt heavy. Yet even in those small rooms filled with quiet tears, heaven was near. God was not distant. He was forming endurance within you. He was teaching you that your story would not end in pain. The weight you carried was shaping shoulders strong enough to support others later in life. Another sign is your constant return to hope. Even after setbacks, you find yourself believing again. Even after heartbreak, you choose to love again. That cycle of hope is evidence of divine preservation. Many become hardened by disappointment, but your heart remains soft. This softness is strength. It allows God to continue molding you. Type yes to affirm. You may also notice how often you have been the quiet encourager in your circle. People open up to you easily. They sense safety around you. This is not random personality. It is the fruit of what God has been building since your earliest days. Your experiences have created understanding, your wounds have produced wisdom, and now others find comfort in your presence. There is another gentle sign that often goes unnoticed. You have a deep discomfort with pretending. Since childhood you have struggled to wear masks. You prefer honesty, even when it is difficult. This desire for authenticity is a reflection of the one who marked you. God is truth, and He shaped you to reflect that truth in your own life. You may also recognize that you learn deeply from hardship. Instead of remaining stuck in bitterness, you eventually search for meaning. You ask yourself what can be learned. You seek growth even through pain. That mindset reveals spiritual maturity that began forming long ago. It shows that your challenges were shaping character, not destroying destiny. Throughout your life, doors have opened in unexpected ways. Opportunities have appeared when you felt least prepared. Help has arrived at the right moment. These patterns are not random luck. They are reminders that you have never walked alone. The same hand that protected you as a child continues to guide your path today. Being marked by God does not mean you are perfect. It means you are chosen for growth. It means your mistakes become lessons instead of endings. It means your tears water seeds that will bloom in time. Jesus has been present in every chapter, even in the ones where you felt confused. Your childhood carried hints of who you are becoming. The shy child who observed everything is now the adult who understands deeply. The child who felt alone is now the adult who comforts others. The child who asked silent questions is now the adult who carries quiet faith. There is beauty in realizing that your life has always been intentional. Nothing about you is accidental. Your sensitivity, your strength, your longing for purpose, your resilience, all of it has been woven together carefully. God saw your future while you were still small. He prepared you slowly, patiently, lovingly. As you stand in this season, allow yourself to embrace this truth fully. You were marked by love, you were marked by calling, you were marked by grace. The signs were hidden, but they were consistent. They followed you like gentle footprints of divine care. One hidden sign is the way you have always been stirred by worship and devotion. Even if you did not grow up in perfect understanding, there were moments when your heart softened at the thought of God. Music, prayer, or even a simple conversation about faith would move you deeply. That response was not emotional weakness, it was spiritual recognition. Your spirit was responding to the one who formed it. Another sign is how often you felt responsible for more than yourself. As a child, you may have taken care of siblings, comforted adults, or carried burdens quietly. You learned maturity early. While others were carefree, you were developing strength. God was teaching you leadership through small acts of love. He was building in you the ability to stand steady when others lean. There is also the pattern of divine timing in your life. Certain setbacks that felt painful at the time later revealed hidden blessings. Missed opportunities redirected you toward better paths. Relationships that ended created space for healthier ones. These shifts were not chaos, they were careful adjustments. God was aligning your life with purpose even when you could not see the design. Type 1212 if you walk by faith. Another hidden sign is the way you feel conviction when you stray too far from what is right. Your heart does not stay comfortable in darkness. When you make mistakes, you feel a strong desire to return to truth. That pull back toward goodness is evidence of being marked. God does not let you remain lost for long. His Spirit gently corrects you because you belong to Him. You may also notice that your dreams have always carried depth. Even as a child, your imagination was filled with meaningful visions. You imagined helping people. You imagined creating something lasting. You imagined a life that mattered. Those dreams were seeds. God planted them early, knowing that in time they would grow stronger. What if wealth was always influenced by a hidden brain signal, buried in classified files and never fully explained to the public? This frequency is now opening new pathways, attracting opportunities, and transforming lives faster than expected. Thousands are already using it to draw wealth like never before. Click the link in the description and comments now, and activate the money-attracting brainwave today. There were seasons when you felt delayed. You watched others move ahead while you seemed to wait. That waiting was not neglect, it was preparation. God was strengthening foundations beneath you. He was shaping patience in your heart. A life built slowly often stands longer. Another sign is your continued desire to forgive. Even when hurt deeply, you struggle to hold hatred. Your heart seeks peace. That ability to release bitterness reflects the heart of Jesus. Forgiveness does not mean weakness. It means strength rooted in grace. God has been teaching you mercy from a young age. Type 1919 to receive miracles. You also carry a quiet courage. It may not always appear loud or dramatic, but it is steady. You face fears even when your hands shake. You speak truth even when your voice trembles. That courage has grown over years of unseen battles. As a child, each small challenge was shaping bravery inside you. Another hidden sign is how deeply you value connection. You long for relationships built on trust and honesty. Surface interactions leave you unsatisfied. This desire for depth mirrors your spiritual design. You were created for genuine communion, not shallow exchanges. God shaped your heart to seek what is real. There have been times when you felt unseen by people around you. Yet even in those moments, you sensed that you were not completely alone. There was a comfort that could not be explained. That comfort was the nearness of Christ. He has been your silent companion since your earliest memories. You may also recognize how hardship never erased your belief entirely. Doubts may have come, but faith always returned. That returning faith is a powerful sign. It shows that your foundation was laid early. Even when storms shake you, the roots remain intact. Another layer of this marking is the way you grow through correction. When life teaches you lessons, you reflect instead of resisting. You desire to improve. You want to become better, not bitter. That openness to growth is a gift from God. It shows humility formed over time. Your compassion for those who struggle is another clear sign. You do not quickly judge. You try to understand. You remember your own battles and extend grace. This empathy has been developing since childhood. God allowed you to experience both joy and pain so that you could relate to others honestly. There is also a spiritual hunger that never fades. No achievement fully satisfies you. No success alone fills the deepest space in your heart. That longing points beyond the world. It reveals that you were created for relationship with God above all else. He marked you with a desire that only He can fulfill. As you continue forward, remember that being chosen is not about perfection. It is about direction. It is about growth. It is about walking step by step with trust. The signs in your childhood were small lights. Now those lights are forming a clear path. Every challenge you survived strengthened your spirit. Every tear you cried softened your heart. Every delay built endurance. Every victory built gratitude. Nothing has been wasted. God has been writing a story of purpose through every chapter. You are not who you were years ago. You are stronger, wiser, more grounded. Yet the core of who you are remains the same gentle soul marked by heaven early on. That consistency is beautiful. It shows that your identity was never random, it was planted. As this understanding settles in, let peace fill you. You are not behind, you are not forgotten. You are walking through a life that has always carried divine fingerprints. The child who felt different was simply being prepared. The child who endured was being strengthened. The child who hoped was being anchored in faith. Now you can step into the present with renewed confidence. The same God who watched over your childhood continues to guide your steps. His love has not weakened. His purpose has not shifted. His care has not diminished. One hidden sign of being marked since childhood is the way you responded to correction. While others may have hardened quickly, you felt conviction deeply. When you knew you were wrong, your heart would not let you rest comfortably. You wanted to make things right. That desire to repair and restore was a seed planted by heaven. It showed that your heart was tender soil where truth could grow. Another sign is the way you have always been drawn to help quietly rather than seek attention. Even as a child, you may have done small acts of kindness without expecting recognition. You shared what little you had. You stood beside someone who was left out. You comforted others in simple ways. Those moments were not small in the eyes of God. They were evidence of a heart already aligned with compassion. There is also the pattern of unusual protection that followed you. Think of the times you narrowly avoided harm. Think of the moments when something told you to step back, to say no, to choose differently. That inner warning was not imagination, it was guidance. God was guarding your path because your life carries purpose that must be preserved. Type 222 to claim miracles. You may also recognize how deeply you feel gratitude. Even after hardship, you can still notice small blessings. A quiet sunset, a kind word, a peaceful moment can fill your heart with appreciation. This ability to see light in simple things reflects a spirit that has been trained to look beyond darkness. God has been teaching you to find Him in everyday details. Another hidden sign is the way you wrestle privately with growth. You examine your own heart, you think about your reactions, you desire to mature. This inner reflection is a mark of spiritual awareness. It shows that you are not drifting through life unconsciously. You are walking thoughtfully, even when progress feels slow. There were seasons when you felt overlooked by people who did not understand you. You may have felt invisible in certain rooms, yet invisibility in the world often creates intimacy with God. In those quiet seasons, you learned to lean on Him. You discovered strength that does not depend on applause. That quiet formation was preparing you for deeper responsibility. Deep within your brain lies a small area connected to wealth and achievement, once buried in restricted studies and classified files. This newly uncovered frequency is helping people replace financial strain with ease, and God has guided you to see this message right now. Click the link in the description and comments to activate this hidden brainwave now. Another sign is your refusal to give up on faith completely. There may have been moments when you felt distant. There may have been confusion or disappointment. Yet something always called you back. That returning is not weakness. It is evidence that your roots were planted early. The marking of God on your life created a bond that could not easily be broken. Type 1-0, if you agree. You also carry a strong desire for inner peace. Conflict drains you. Chaos unsettles you. You seek harmony not because you are fragile, but because your spirit was designed for order and light. God shaped you to reflect calm in a noisy world. This desire for peace is part of your calling. Another hidden sign is how often people seek your advice. Even when you feel ordinary, others sense wisdom in you. They trust your perspective. They value your presence. This influence did not appear overnight. It has been growing since childhood, through every lesson you learned and every trial you endured. There is also a depth in your love. When you care fully. When you commit, you remain loyal. That depth may have caused you pain at times, but it is also your strength. God marked you with a heart capable of deep connection because shallow love could never satisfy your design. You may notice that you are uncomfortable living without purpose. Routine alone does not fulfill you. You long for meaning in what you do. This longing reveals that your life was never meant to be ordinary in spirit. God planted within you a desire to contribute something lasting. Another sign is how you respond to others who are struggling. Instead of turning away, you feel drawn closer. You want to understand, you want to support. This response flows naturally from you. It is not forced. It is the fruit of years of quiet shaping by Christ. There have been moments when you felt broken beyond repair, yet even in those lowest valleys, restoration began slowly. Strength returned. Hope flickered again. This cycle of falling and rising shows divine care. God does not abandon what He has marked, He restores it. You may also recognize that you carry discernment. You sense when something is not right. You feel caution before danger appears clearly. This awareness has protected you many times. It is part of the spiritual sensitivity formed within you since childhood. As these signs come together, they create a picture of intentional design. You were not randomly shaped. Your personality, your experiences, your strengths, and even your weaknesses have been woven into a greater story. God has been guiding quietly, patiently, faithfully. Your childhood was not simply a phase. It was the beginning of preparation. The tears taught empathy. The joy taught gratitude. The discipline taught resilience. The waiting taught trust. Every piece mattered. Now, as you move forward, allow this truth to anchor you. You are not walking blindly. You are stepping into a path that has been prepared carefully. The same God who watched over your earliest memories continues to walk beside you. Being chosen does not remove struggle. It gives meaning to struggle. It transforms pain into preparation. It turns confusion into growth. It shapes weakness into compassion. The hidden signs were gentle whispers throughout your life. Now they form a clear declaration. You were marked by love. You were marked by grace. You were marked by purpose. Hold this understanding close to your heart. Let it calm your doubts. Let it strengthen your steps. You are not ordinary in spirit. You are deeply known by the one who created you. One hidden sign is the way you feel deeply responsible for your choices. You do not take decisions lightly. Even small matters can weigh on your heart because you want to act with integrity. This carefulness reflects spiritual maturity that began forming when you were young. God was training your conscience to remain sensitive so that your steps would be thoughtful and wise. Another sign is how you respond to beauty. Whether it is nature, music, or a simple act of kindness, beauty moves you. It softens you. It reminds you that there is goodness in the world. This sensitivity is not accidental. It reveals a heart tuned to recognize traces of the Creator in everyday life. God shaped you to notice His fingerprints around you. You may also remember how you often felt older than your years. As a child, you understood emotions that others overlooked. You observed patterns, you listened carefully. This awareness was preparation. God was sharpening your discernment so that one day you could guide others with insight and compassion. Type yes to affirm. Another hidden sign is your constant desire for growth. You do not want to remain stagnant. Even when life becomes comfortable, something inside you pushes for deeper understanding. This restlessness is not dissatisfaction with life, it is spiritual hunger. It shows that you were marked for continual transformation. There were times when you felt misunderstood by authority figures or peers. You may have struggled to explain your thoughts clearly, yet even in those moments, you held on to your inner convictions. That quiet strength shows resilience. God was teaching you to stand firm even when approval was not given. Another sign is your ability to find lessons in unexpected places. You learn from failure, you learn from success, you even learn from silence. This reflective nature has been present since childhood. It shows that your experiences were shaping wisdom gradually. You may also notice how strongly you feel when others are in pain. News of suffering affects you deeply. You cannot easily ignore injustice or cruelty. This empathy is part of your calling. God marked you with compassion because He intends to use your heart as a source of comfort. Type 1111 if you trust in God. There is also a pattern of quiet endurance in your life. You have faced obstacles that could have discouraged you completely, yet instead of collapsing permanently, you rise again slowly. You gather strength piece by piece. That steady recovery reveals divine support. Jesus has been sustaining you through every difficult season. A 7-second brainwave technique, once reserved for select groups and hidden in classified files, has now been released to the public, and many describe it as the 30-second miracle. Experts say it awakens a dormant brain center linked to wealth and blessings. Click the link in the comments below before it's taken down again from the internet. Another hidden sign is your longing for authenticity and faith. You are not satisfied with empty rituals. You seek real connection. You want your relationship with God to feel alive and personal. This desire for depth has been growing since childhood. It shows that your spirit was marked for intimacy with the Lord. You may remember moments when you felt drawn to prayer even without being told. In times of fear or confusion, you naturally looked upward. That instinct reveals early awareness of divine presence. God was teaching your heart where to turn for comfort. Another sign is how often you encourage others to hope. Even when your own heart feels heavy, you find words to lift someone else. This generosity of spirit did not develop suddenly. It was formed through years of experiencing both sorrow and grace. There is also the pattern of quiet protection over your dreams. Despite criticism or doubt from others, you have continued to hold on to certain visions. Something inside refuses to let them die completely. That persistence shows that those dreams are connected to purpose. God planted them and continues to guard them. You may also see how your mistakes have never completely defined you. You feel remorse when you fall, but you also feel the pull to rise again. This cycle of correction and renewal reflects divine mercy. Being marked does not mean being flawless. It means being guided back to truth repeatedly. Another hidden sign is the way you value time. You sense that life is precious. You feel urgency to use your days wisely. This awareness shows spiritual perspective. It reveals that your heart understands the importance of purpose beyond temporary pleasures. As these signs gather together, they form a clear pattern. Since childhood, your life has been surrounded by gentle shaping. Every challenge added strength. Every blessing added gratitude. Every disappointment added depth. You were not overlooked in your quiet seasons. You were being formed. You were not abandoned in your confusion. you were being guided. The marking of God on your life has been steady, even when you doubted it. Now you stand in a place of greater awareness.